Ladies and gentlemen, day 114 of the Russian invasion and the 9th year of the Russian Federation's war against Ukraine. My name is Andriy Shevchenko. On behalf of the Mediacentru Ukraine team, I would like to welcome all the journalists that are telling the world about our fight for freedom. We are having a special event today. We intend to talk about a concert that is scheduled at the Lviv National Philharmonic Society tonight. This is a concert where Nino Katamadze, a prominent Georgian singer, will perform. And together with her, we will also have the INSO-Lviv Orchestra on stage. First and foremost, I want to give the floor to Ms. Iolanta Pryshliak, chair of the board of the INSO-Lviv Orchestra. Iolanta, can you tell us more about the concert tonight? Thank you. Good afternoon. Greetings to everyone. To all those behind the screen, to all those here in the conference room. The idea of this concert was born at the very outset of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It was a proposal on the part of our Georgian partners, Ms. Nino Katamadze in the first place. They contacted us and said that they wanted to come here and collaborate with our orchestras. We said yes right out of the gate, but we had only half our members in the orchestra at that time, only women. And what we felt in Georgia on stage there is something that we want to replicate here in Ukraine at the Lviv National Philharmonic Society tonight. It's very difficult to describe everything in words, because if you hear, or if you want to hear, you will take it in. But if you don't want to hear, you will not accept this message. Therefore, we believe that music is a tool that we can use to reach out to the hearts of those people that do not want to hear about our pain, our fear, and our unrelenting desire to win. I am elated that Nino, despite the risk, came to Ukraine together with Nikoloz. They instilled even more hope in us, because whenever people of this kind come to Ukraine under these dire circumstances, we feel tangible support and we have more faith in our future. To the best of our understanding, it will be a charity concert, and all the proceeds from ticket sales will be channeled to support Ukraine's armed forces. Thank you, Iolanta. And now I want to give the floor to Georgian composer and conductor, Mr. Nikoloz Rachveli. Tonight, Reverence to Ukraine, your piece will be performed. What do you want to say through this work?
First of all, I'm very thankful to God that with Nino I have possibility to be in Ukraine. When we, three of us, Sopo, Chkonia, Nino Katamadze and me, when we decide to travel in the country where is going Russian aggression, war, of course we were afraid a little bit, until we cross the port of your country. When we saw name of Ukraine, we feel that we are strong, because Ukraine is strong. From the first day, from February, when Georgia TV told us what is going on, what is happening here, after 1 hour, in the rehearsal room of Georgian National Philharmonic Orchestra, where I am artistic director. All the musicians came without some asking or announcing. Came Nino, and we were first music institution in the world who performed national anthem of Ukraine and performed Ukrainian music live to show for all of the world that Georgian musicians and country and citizens and people, we are here from all of our heart. Then in Georgia we did several events, and really I'm proud to say that Georgian Philharmonic Orchestra with charity events for Ukraine, we could select more than 500,000 United States dollars and send it. We had communication with the administration of President Ukraine, and then was the biggest event when Lviv International Symphony Orchestra members, girls, women, came, and together with Georgian Orchestra we did, and together with Nino and Jamala, we did one of the biggest charity event in Georgia history. And after, we are continuing our solidarity action, being here. It was never unforgettable, our concert in underground station in Kyiv. Nino, me, and musicians from Kyiv Philharmonic Orchestra, and we were very happy that we could share our emotions to Ukrainian people. And then we are here in Lviv. We are doing today also charity concert together with wonderful, really great musicians which are performing, which are working in International Orchestra Lviv. And I think that we will continue this partnership. We absolutely think that Ukraine will win in this war. We think that this winning is winning of my country, Georgia, because we have the same enemy. We are in the same boat, how we can say it. And of course, today we will perform my and Giacancelli's music. Nino will perform her own compositions with us, and music from Georgian films and theater. And everything, every note, every breath will dedication to the soldiers, to the victims, and to the citizens of this wonderful, great, beloved country, Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава! Діді Мадлоба, пане Рачвелі, дякую.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rachveli. And now it's a great honor and pleasure for me to give the floor to prominent Georgian singer and composer, Nino Katamadze. Nino, what will your mood be during the concert tonight? What exactly do you want to say to Ukraine and the entire globe by dint of this concert? First of all, I would like to point out that that will be my last interview in Russian. And from now on, I will speak either Ukrainian or Georgian during interviews. Our tonight's voice, like the voice yesterday, the voice after 2014, and each and every visit to Ukraine is the voice of friendship, the voice of freedom, the voice of support, the voice of love that we have as a Georgian people for Ukraine. We are your friends. We are performers that have great love for our friends here in Ukraine. The entire repertoire was put together specifically for the INSO-Lviv Orchestra. We worked on that together with Nikoloz Rachveli. We wanted to make sure that we would be able to play all these pieces of music, and we want to communicate the voice of freedom through this music. Friends, you have a great opportunity to ask some questions, and if necessary, I will have your questions translated into the Russian language. If you have a question, just give me a signal, and while you are formulating your questions, I have another question, if I may. You've been in Ukraine for over a week. You were in Kyiv, on the outskirts of Kyiv. Now you're here in Lviv. Which moment, which episode impressed you most in the past several of days? What is something that will stay etched in your memory? It's very painful to watch the clock, to listen for the siren. You don't want to miss the beginning of the curfew. And at the same time, you have to give thought to struggle. You have to give thought to what exactly you want to do in this beautiful, amazing country. We encountered some incredible people here. They welcomed us with flowers, with love at the railway station. They communicated some messages in the Georgian language. So this entire journey from Kyiv to Lviv, we visited Irpin, we visited the Kyiv subway. All these images will be indelibly imprinted on my mind. They will stay with me for my entire life. All these hugs with people. This is a real showcase of how you should fight for your soil, how you should fight for your life. And I will always remember that we played there in the underground subway. And that happened when a train passed by. So it all happened in the midst of the concert. And it was really heart-wrenching to see that the doors were closed. So people were not really able to disembark where they wanted. So the door to our freedom was not open. But at the same time, even in such situations, the voice of peace and support will continue sounding. We need to have faith in the fact that all these doors will reopen, providing we continue fighting fiercely for our lives. We just need to continue looking one another in the eye. And over time, all these doors will definitely reopen. Irpin will definitely stay etched in my memory. Since day one of the war, we have been observing all the developments, all those atrocities that were committed in the town of Irpin. But even now, despite the war, everything was clean. 40% of the local population returned to their homes. But there are houses and buildings that were fully decimated, so you cannot be back there. We observed some burnt down houses, for example, the decimated House of Culture. And I'm sure that the voice of freedom will sound there again over time. It was crucial to see all this firsthand. It was crucial to have that visceral experience. You understand that you are there, but then you exit home and you attend to your daily errands and you partially forget about it. But it's important to keep that anguish in your heart. We need to keep remembering. Peace is indispensable on our planet. Any war where at least one child dies is my war. So it was extremely heart-wrenching to see all that, to see those images. But at the same time, we had to communicate the message of love. But Ukraine is strong. We are strong people, and together we will continue moving forward. We will continue communicating the message of peace and love. We need to demonstrate to our heroes that their lost lives will not be futile. We will do everything within our capacity so that their children will live in a country that boasts dignity. We need to continue pursuing our goals. There's a question from the audience, please, but speaking to a microphone. Greetings, Channel 24, Ulana Zhorban. By your visit to Ukraine, you represent the Georgian people. You said that you wanted to come here since day one of the war. You also supported some IDPs from Ukraine. You and the Georgian people are very supportive of Ukraine, but your government is very cautious about sanctions and some other things pertaining to Ukraine. What is your personal attitude to this confrontation or even division between your people and the government? I'm really sorry, but I will give a very succinct answer. I'm here, and I will stay here. During the first days of the war, when the Georgian government's plan became clear, all Georgian people took to the streets. They demonstrated their choice. They demonstrated their unwavering support. I can state with certainty that you will not find as many Ukrainian flags in any other country as in Georgia. You will see Ukrainian flags everywhere, in big cities and small ones. We've been living with this pain and anguish for about 30 years now. We know what it's like to have to leave your home, to have to leave your city. And we have even children that had to flee Abkhazia and they don't even remember their motherland anymore. Our government is indeed our weakness. We have a very disadvantageous geographic location. And we cannot always be as audacious as we would like to be. This is my personal opinion. But I also want to point out that on the 20th of June, we are going to stage a large-scale rally. Young people are doing a lot. They are fighting really hard to make sure that our country will step on the right pathway. In my presence here is very important right now because we're also waiting for the conclusion from the European Union. Any other questions from the audience? I have another question, if I may. Georgia experienced its own war, its own tragedy, the war, the loss of territories. If we compare Georgia and Ukraine, if we try to draw some parallels between Georgia and Ukraine, are these two similar situations? So what are some differences and what are some commonalities? I would put it in the following way. It's not that we experienced our own war. We are still experiencing this war. This is something that we still have unraveling in Georgia. It's all about the stories of people. They are still living in these memories. They lost their family members. They've lost their sons. They were not able to bury their people. They were not able to bury their children. We have some horrendous stories. I don't even want to share them because they're really graphic. They are really cruel and brutal. Not only did people lose their lives, they lost their faith. They had to overcome multiple challenges to get to the city of Tbilisi, for example. But there was another challenge. In the 1990s, Georgia was undergoing a very dark stretch in our history. There was no water, there was no gas. Corruption was rampant in our country. But still, we had to deal with 300,000 IDPs in Georgia. It was a formidable task for us. It was very painful, and we were not really ready to assume that responsibility back then. So we did not really live through this war yet. We are still in the midst of that experience, and we are learning to continue supporting our brothers and sisters from Abkhazia, let's say, because this is also our territory. These are also our people. This is the pain that we share. I cannot really draw any parallels with Ukraine because you have your own story of pain and anguish, and also story of injustice. We have 1/4 of the country taking the brunt of this hideous war. But I also want to note, if we join forces and try to live up to these challenges together, I'm certain that we will be able to overcome them and continue our lives with dignity. I have a point of clarification. At the very beginning, you said that it would be your last interview in Russian, that from now on, you will speak Georgian or Ukrainian during interviews. Can you tell us more about this decision of yours? How are you coping with Ukrainian? I understand almost everything in Ukrainian, but I realized that it was very difficult for me to speak Russian, especially in those places where there are Russian bombs raining down on people, killing people. It's very difficult. I'm not really sure whether I will succeed with this decision because I've been speaking Russian for 50 years. So I understand it quite a lot, and I can even speak a bit. So I will definitely do everything possible to master the Ukrainian language. Because I have Svetlana Kukach with my son, a beautiful Ukrainian lady. I will ask my last question in Russian. What can you tell us about the link between art and war? Is it an opportune time to sing and play music during the war? If we have to pronounce the word war in the world, we have to fight on all fronts. Our soldiers are fighting on the front line, and we also need to continue this fight on our own front through creativity, through art, through our spirits. We need to tell our message of the war. This is a force that can galvanize people into action. This is a force that can yield some beautiful fruits. And I believe that through creativity and art, we will be better positioned to obtain a victory. Tonight, 7 p.m., Lviv National Philharmonic Society, a charity concert involving Nino Katamadze and the INSO-Lviv Orchestra. It's a charity concert, and all proceeds from ticket sales will be channeled to support Ukraine's armed forces. I'm very grateful to all our guests today, and in particular to Nino Katamadze for this beautiful conversation. Thank you.